Hey everybody, welcome. This is a very special Rob review in that this is different than me just speaking to you mano a mano. We're going to start this series that I've been working on. Multiple interviews I've already done. The first one is this interview that we're going to cut to here in a minute with Tom Betts, Thomas A. Betts Jr., a guy that I was really fortunate to be able to sit down with for 30 minutes to an hour and glean from him things that he has found helped him to build the life that he wants, okay? Tom is self-made as anybody can be. He literally says in the interview that he came from the bottom of the bottom, started with nothing, and decided that his success was up to him. And because it was up to him, he was going to figure out how to build a business that allowed him to serve and have a centered business around allowing him to benefit from being involved positively in other people's lives. It's a key thing we talk about on the Rob Review and a key piece of this interview. But more importantly than just hearing that from his mouth, I want you to understand the mindset of a man that built success that transcends just him and has allowed for a lot of other people in his life to indirectly be successful through his success. And understand and see if you can glean from him some of the things that you can put to work in your own life, whether you're just starting your journey or whether you're trying to modify your journey to get more out of what you already have. Now, he says in this very poignantly that he has no magic formula. And that's true. And that's the purpose, more importantly than anything, of the Rob Review, is to show there's no magic formula. There's no one way. But there is, however, pieces of breadcrumbs that people leave behind that are already ahead of you that you can follow. And those pieces are sprinkled throughout this interview. So don't just watch. Take some notes and learn something from these next 30 minutes with Tom Betts. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, welcome to kind of a special edition of the Rob Review, if you will, because most of the time I talk to you just mano a mano, but today I'm sitting down with Mr. Betts here. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. Okay, Tom Betts. And, you know, I did an interview a while back with Roger Taylor, and it went really well to understand his ideas about success. And I wanted to come talk to you to get your perspective, because I think that in today's world, especially with the internet and everybody being so inundated with social media, success and the idea of success gets blown way out of proportion. And it also gets oversold as you need this product or that product or this book or this seminar. And not that those things aren't useful at times, but I believe that most people can find somebody in a local community like yourself who has designed and built a life that you pictured in your mind and you built for yourself, and they can come and just ask you a question if they see you at a community event or something. They can learn just as much, if not more, than paying somebody for advice. And so I wanted to sit down with you to kind of understand your perspective on the ideas of success and whether there's real principles to it. Because I don't believe that luck really plays a role. But what is your take on that?
Well, I'm going to, I don't have any magic formula. I'm going to use the word service that is really misunderstood and overused. But I base my success on service. Let me give you a brief background. I grew up on a farm out in the county. When I graduated from college, I graduated from college. I didn't get an education. So my daddy said, son, there's really no place for you on the farm anymore. It's just, you got to find something else. So I didn't know what to do. While I was in college, I had sold encyclopedias and was pretty successful doing that. So I've always liked to sell. An opportunity came along for me to buy a real small property and casualty liability insurance business in Whitaker's. It was a very, very small agency. I was able to buy it for $32,000 and paying $8,000 a year. I had no money. I was living at home with my parents. I was taking out $250 a month. I was wearing my brother's sport coats. So I started from the bottom. But I wanted to build a business that had a customer base. I wanted to have a business that I could sell somebody on a service and they would buy it and have to have it over and over and over again. I didn't want to go into the business like the encyclopedia selling business, where it's a one-time deal, you make this sale and you go to the next person. So being in the property and liability insurance business was a great opportunity for that. I would sell somebody their automobile and their life insurance. One of the people in my office would service the account. I'd go out and sell another customer. The person in my office would service that account. And that's how I was able to build a customer base of people had to have my service. You can't drive a car without insurance. You can't finance a house without insurance. So I was young in the business. Nobody knew me. It was slow going and hard going. And it was hard for me to get a customer. And when I once got a customer, I was never going to lose that customer. How? I was going to give him the best service you've ever seen in your life. I'll never forget, this was before cell telephones, but I had two numbers on my card, my office number, my house number, and I'd always tell every client, most important number on this card is my house. You call me 24/7, anytime, day and night, if you need something, and I will be there to answer you.
You didn't just say it, you probably held true to it.
I did. So time went along and the business grew and it was very, very successful. But the reason it was successful is that I gave extraordinary service. You can call your insurance agent today, and if you have a claim, they'll probably say, well, the 800 claim line is numbers. No, we never did that. There were three things I did. Okay. I always wore a tie. I was the first one to arrive, the last one to leave, and nobody ever asked who was calling. I believed in total access. And I can't tell you, my telephone, I was in the business over 40 years, and my telephone would ring at home on my cell at least once or twice every day, 7 days a week. Can you imagine this? Somebody just had a kitchen fire and it's Saturday morning. What are they gonna do? They called me on the telephone. I said, you do this, that, and the other. You call Service Pro. You do this, you do that. I'll have an adjuster in touch with you on Monday morning and I'm gonna be with you the whole way.
Right.
That person is never going to leave me.
They're always going to remember that.
But you got to be willing to put in the hours.
And see, that's the thing about today's idea of success. I think that everybody's looking for this get-rich-quick mentality, or this idea of how do I hack my way to something, rather than getting to the root of, I'm just going to do this until it shows me results. And when it shows me results, I'm going to figure out how I got those results and then do more of that. And that sounds like a lot of what you did. You knew it was going to take time, but you found a business that allowed you to play off some of your strengths. And you also did a very simple thing, but it takes work ethic to put behind it, which is the simplicity of it is, okay, just being nice to people and being there for them. But the work ethic behind it is you got to be willing to take the time to answer the calls and to know how to direct that person to where they need to go. So you understood your business, right? You had to study your business model.
You have to like what you do.
Mm-hmm.
It did not bother me that somebody would call me after hours.
Mm-hmm.
The satisfaction I got from that person telling me, oh, I feel so much better, my goodness. I'm so happy my claim is covered. There's not going to be an issue. You're going to take care of me. Where can you find a satisfaction like that?
Only from somebody that they trusted you when they bought the policy, and then they know that, okay, they can trust you to handle it when things go wrong.
But me, as a provider of that service, it wouldn't work. Well, it got tiring and it got hard sometimes, but I enjoyed doing it. So if you don't like what you do, you ain't got a chance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you think that there are parts of what you do that, I mean, you can like pieces of it, and then if there's something that you, for instance, servicing the paperwork and that kind of thing, you can hire.
That's a great question. Let me tell you how I handle that.
Okay.
I had service representatives, customer service reps, that handled I would assign them an account. So when somebody would call in, I got to change automobiles, I added a room on my house, they would call Donna. Donna was their rep. So Donna developed a relationship with them. The only time I got involved is when there was a problem with the claim.
Something had to be claimed or something went.
Whenever there was a problem, that's when I got involved. And that encouraged them to develop a relationship with Donna. And so when they had an insurance question, rather than call me, they'd call Donna.
Which allowed you to have time to go out.
To get more. I had a little thing designed about like got a little stick on every policy that my customer service reps would renew. Say they were renewing your automobile policy. Be a little sticker on the front of it. My name is Donna from Betts and Company. I have thoroughly reviewed this coverage. I think it is satisfactory for your needs. If you have any questions, please call me. My direct number is so-and-so, Donna. Well, that gave Donna, she bought into the deal. And that also told the customer who to call if she had a question. I didn't have to do that.
And you gave Donna some stock in the success of your business, really,
Yes.
because, I mean, she now wants to, because her name is attached to it.
Exactly.
And that's a big thing, and it's hard, especially when you start something, to figure out how to delegate these kinds of things and to figure out, okay, when should I? And, you know, maybe some people do it too early, but the ultimate idea is, I think anyway, there are always going to be pieces in a business you start that you're not good at or that you don't like, but you find the thing that puts out the best result for your time. And usually that's the thing that turns the profit wheel, right?
Yep.
And you do that.
Yep. Well said.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I that's what I've tried to comb from watching people that have more success than me. And that's what I'm trying to pull out of this interview, is to sit down with somebody like you and just to put it out to people that, one, whatever you want in life, especially in America, is attainable. You just got to have, one, an idea of where you want to go, and then two, you got to figure out a vehicle that can take you there. And then there's that thing that everybody messes up with, which is trying to get there too fast. You know, I think I saw something in one of the interviews that I think Gene did with you where you had a picture right there. It says persistence. That's a big key.
Yep.
Right? Can you expound on that a little bit?
If you don't like what you're doing, you're not going to do it well. I've already said that. But I think you need to ask two questions when you're trying to get somebody to do business with you. After you've done all of the points and all, then you got to stop and say, what's it going to take to do the deal?
Okay.
Because there's no point in courting a slow no.
That's pretty cool right there. No point in courting a slow no.
No, sir, really, because she ain't ever going to kiss you. So what you need to do is decide how you can best spend your time.
And you have to decide that real quick in a meeting.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, when you ask somebody, look, what's it going to take to do the deal? Well, you know, he can't tell you, I'll get back to you next week or let me check with so-and-so. I'm sitting there looking at him. Okay, Robbie.
It's a question
Yeah,
that you
what's
gotta
it going to
answer.
take for us to do business?
And it poses the question in their mind, and you get right down to the point.
Yeah, and he may say, well, you know, we can't do fine.
It's too far off.
Yeah, that's great. And then
move
ain't no
on.
point in wasting your time with Robbie anymore.
So I mean, and that's a really good point that you made, because I've heard a lot of people, you know, talk about your persistence to get the yes that you look for, but that's a little bit different than what I thought. I thought there was this idea of I'm going to get the yes no matter what, but sometimes it's you figure it out right up front that there can be no yes, and then you move on to the one that you can get a yes with. Wow.
I found another good way to retain customers. I had a very, very high customer retention rate. When I would have a customer that would be dissatisfied, and they were only dissatisfied about two things: the claim wasn't paid right, or the company canceled little Johnny's car insurance.
Okay.
I mean, that was basically the two issues.
Okay.
And I would sit down with the client and say, okay, what is it going to take to satisfy you? I understand why you're upset. I understand the issue here, but what's it going to take?
And then
Because I want you happy. If it's going to take you moving your business to somebody else, I will assist in that process.
wow. Okay.
If you want, whatever you want, if you want me to move you to another insurance company, you want me to have the insurance company rep come to see you and talk to you about, what is it going to take to make you happy?
Again, a very honest question.
It wasn't about me.
No.
It was about, I want to make you happy. If I can make you happy and make $1 out of it, that's great. But if I can make you happy and not make anything out of it money-wise, but make you happy in your mind, that when you hear Tom Bett's name,
You think of it in a good way.
You're going to smile.
Yeah. And in a long roundabout way, that comes back to you. It's kind of like the idea of you need to sow before you can reap kind of thing. You put that, okay, I am going to resolve this situation with this person. Whether or not it takes money out of my pocket or hurts me right now, in the long run, it'll be a positive thing.
Avoid the confrontation. I have never, ever, never won when I had a confrontation situation. I may have gotten a temporary kick out of it, but you can't win with confrontation.
So as your business progressed and you had two parts to this question. One, did you thoroughly, in your mind, have a distinct idea of how you wanted your life to turn out through that business? And two, when it started to happen, how did you begin to put yourself in a position to have it continue when you decided to focus on other things, or did you just stay in your business for the long?
I had no plan. I ain't smart enough to write a business plan. My focus was I want to do better this month than I did the same time last year in the same month.
Okay.
My whole goal was I got to do better this time frame than I did the last time. That was my only focus.
Simple and easy too, though, because it simplifies the fact that you know, okay, if you did X sales calls to get here, then you got to do that much more.
But I mean, there ain't no shortcuts.
Right. Right.
I mean, I believe in like I said, wearing a coat, and I never went to the opposite of a coat and a tie. I always said yes, sir, yes, ma'am, until the people told me not to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am.
I get that.
I mean, you cannot beat old-fashioned courtesy. That ain't ever going out of style. Service is the absolute key. And you know, everybody says, oh, we do sales, we do service. Most people don't understand what service is. If I was a young fella coming out of high school or college, I would find out what I want to do, and I would do it. Now, I said, everybody don't need to go to college. A lot of people need to go to Nash Tech, Nash Community College. No, it's Nash Tech. That's a bone I've got to pick. Those community colleges got above their raising. They came in, they were in business to learn how to beat out a fender and put a couple of wires together. Now they want to teach who Beethoven is. Don't nobody care about that. But they're learning their lesson, I think. But this country needs a trade. I had a trade. I was selling a service.
And that's a skill set.
Yes.
You learn that.
And what's the difference in me doing that and me having a plumber come over to fix my house or a carpenter to build me a table?
It's the same thing. And you need that. And I'm glad you made that point, because that's part of the whole reason for sitting down with somebody with your wisdom, is that everybody cannot have this picture perfect idea where you don't have to you make your money and you go sit on the beach. You know, there's this idea that success is when you get to somewhere, but I believe that success is finding your niche in life and enjoying the skill set of growing it, and enjoying growing that skill set and working on it daily. And I think when you do that, you find out that regardless of whether you could do nothing every day, it's not enjoyable. And enjoyable is working on your craft daily.
What you want to find, or what I have found, you want to find satisfaction. You get satisfaction from building that table, then do it. I got satisfaction from making the sale. And satisfaction's a pretty good high.
You're right.
And
You're absolutely
I
right.
know something about highs, but that's a story for another day.
And you have to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be driven enough that you get something out of it, but you can also benefit other people through it. And I think that's the beauty of having this American dream that we can all take a part of, is that when you take it upon yourself to build your own independence, you know, and have, you know, independence in time in life, independence in finances in life, what you do is you set yourself up to have something worth fighting for. And when you do that, you'll fight for other people inadvertently.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know, right now, it's easy.
It is.
People are screaming for service. Pick something. I don't care what it is. People can't get anybody to fix it. Man, if I was a young man, oh my goodness, woo.
Now, would you say to your young self, if you had to put it down on a piece of paper and give it to your young self starting out, what are the couple of key things? You know, I know you said that service matters and persistence matters, but what are the couple of key things that you would say to your young self if you had to start over again with your wisdom?
I go back to what I've said several times during this talk. Find out what you like. Take the time to find out what you like.
And that'll be worth it. Even
I mean,
if
you
it
know,
takes
that's like marrying a woman. It really don't matter whether you love her or not, but it's really important that you like her.
And here's the thing, at least in my life, what I've found is sometimes you go down a road thinking you're going to like something, and you might go 10 years down that road before you realize, okay, I have pulled all of this that I can out of this. I don't like it as much as I did, but you've got skill sets that you can deliver into something different.
Yeah.
It is a journey, and when you embrace that, you begin to enjoy it a lot more, because you can get frustrated along the way trying to reach something and not thinking, I'm not going to be happy until I get this.
Well, let me tell you how you can determine find a need and fill that need.
Okay.
That's all you got to do. Find a need and fill that need.
And then work.
And you'll be successful beyond your wildest dreams. I mean, people need things. Find out what it is and give it to them. That ain't rocket science.
It's not rocket science, no. But I think too many people aren't looking for the need. They're looking for, where can I find the quick money?
They will never enjoy the satisfaction that capitalism offers.
And see, that's exactly what I wanted to get out of sitting down with you today, is there's enjoyment in capitalism and in pulling together what your skill set may be that you have an inherent ability to. Like, you have an inherent ability to hold a conversation and talk to people, and you use that in sales, right? When you find those things and go after them, capitalism benefits you and the people around you when you do that. It's not a terrible thing. It's not something. There's not anything wrong with it when you use it in that manner. You know, capitalism can benefit everybody when you feel a need, and that need makes everybody else's life better.
I have been high off whiskey, and I have been high off the satisfaction of signing a big deal.
It doesn't compare.
Whiskey can't touch that satisfaction of doing a big deal.
Well, that satisfaction lasts, because you could have done a big deal and 10 years down the road see a benefit of it.
Yeah.
It could be a person coming up to you to say, you know, Tom, such and such happened to me, and you know that because of your success you were able to put into something.
Yeah.
And see it benefit somebody else.
It ain't hard.
It ain't hard. But it takes, like you said, it takes picking something and sticking with it, not jumping from thing to thing to thing. And as we wrap this up, I do want to kind of look at, once you start to find yourself in a successful position where you might have the benefit to invest in other things, what do you think somebody like me, or somebody even younger than me, you know, I'm 31 right now, and I feel like I'm just getting a grip on being able to put back in to the system I've been taking so much out of all these years. What do you think is some potential in this area over the years that people can look to from right now moving forward to just invest in or put back into this area?
I don't think you ever ought to invest in anything you don't know.
Okay.
I think I've learned that when I invest in something I don't understand, I lose money every time. I've also learned that a good deal never leaves home. When somebody from Texas has an oil well to sell you, he ain't got to come to North Carolina if it's a good deal.
That makes sense.
That deal will stay in Texas.
That goes a long way when you think about the wisdom of that statement. I've gotten a lot out of just sitting down with you for 30 minutes, so I appreciate your time, Tom. I really do. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. Okay, well, I hope that we get to come and see you again and talk again, maybe in a future date. But until then, like I say a lot of times in this show, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you watch this not just for entertainment, but to get something out of it, and remember that in life you can do more if you don't worry about the financial situation that you are in, because I don't believe, just my belief, but I don't believe God really cares about where you're at, because he's not focused on your bank account. He's focused on the faith that you have and where you're trying to get to.
Absolutely.